Foundups can change people's lives. And I want to share with the story how Foundups is doing that right now. A story of a friend of mine, our coder and developer, a co-founder, founder of Foundups, called Brian. I met Brian about a month or so ago when he reached out to me. He explained to me that he was homeless, that he is self-taught in technology as a coder and as a hardware. His specialty is basically in, taking trash and turning it into hardware trash and turning it into actual working devices. All of his technology, his laptop, his PC and servers, everything is from dumpster dives. That's right, dumpster dives. He's a remarkable guy. And for a very long time, he's been homeless. He also suffers from Lyme disease. And I strongly recommend that you watch this video on Lyme disease, because treating Lyme disease is extremely expensive, and it's important that Brian gets his treatment now and not later, because it can lead to Parkinson-type symptoms and everything else. Now, Brian was so inspired by Foundups that he decided to become unhomeless, to put a roof on his head, to find a cheap apartment with no furniture, with nothing, in order to start helping me with Foundups. What it allowed me to do is to take the little money that I currently have raised, around $200 a month, and direct it to Brian to help him. People helping people save the planet together. And Brian and I now are working pretty much full-time in developing and launching something called Perma Revolution, which is tied to Foundups, and working together to get this vision started. Now I invite you to help me help Brian by becoming a patron of Foundups. If you go to Foundups.com, you can become a patron for as little as $1. This money right now is going to be directed to helping Brian keep a roof on his head, which is $500 a month, and also provide him the ability to get the medication that he needs to treat his Lyme disease, a very, very serious disease that ultimately can be cured, but it needs treatment. So help me help Brian, who's helping me launch Foundups and save the world together. What makes Foundups really special now is that I realize that imagine having millions of projects, Foundups like mine, like yours, that raises, a modicum of income that can help homeless people become unhomeless by paying them a simple wage for coming to help you work on your garden, or providing them access to shelter and food and other things. What it means is that Foundups ultimately has reached a new level for me, because it removes the gatekeepers that ultimately are currently in place to help people like Brian. If he needs assistance, he's got to fill out forms. He's having trouble right now getting an ID. I mean, when you're homeless and you don't have anything, carrying your birth certificate or carrying certain documents is just not that important to you. So for Brian to open a bank account, he can't do it. It's become very difficult in our current system, in our current centralized system. What I'm doing is paying his landlord directly, and ultimately allowing that person to know that he has a support group out there. So if you're a friend of Brian's and you want to help Brian, then become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and that money is going to go to Brian. I'm making the first transfer of money today to him, to his landlord, in order to help keep a roof on his head. So join me in saving the world together. I'm helping Brian, Brian's helping me, you're helping me help Brian. It's really that simple. Thanks a lot.